Call regular city council meeting Monday, July 25th, 2016 to order. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Alderman Putoff.
Here. Alderman Putoff. Ferrari.
Here.
Waldorf. Lukosius. Radke. Mueller. Alderman Sapiens is absent. Alderman Payton.
Here.
Mayor Hall. Here. Pledge allegiance. Okay, we have a presentation. We have public comment on an agenda item. We have a motion to approve the minutes and place on file. So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the minutes and place on file. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Do we have a motion to receive financial reports and place on file?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second to receive the financial reports and place on file. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. We have a motion to receive the activity reports and place on file.
So moved, Your Honor. Second, Your Honor.
We have a motion to receive the activity reports and place on file. Is there any discussion? I know it's not on this activity report. Could you fill us in a little more, Chief, on our attempted burglary in our canine unit? I know, like I said, it's not on this activity report, and it was in the paper tonight, but it's
Right.
kind of interesting.
Yeah, they summarized it very well. Obviously, it's of great public interest. There's 70,000 people have looked at the Facebook post on it already. I think, hundreds and hundreds, if not 1,000 comments, all very positive. And it was just a cop and his canine out on patrol, checking doors, checking businesses. He was on Progress Boulevard, saw some taillights come on a vehicle. He knew a half hour earlier there was no lights on in any of the vehicles or anything like that. So he went over, confronted the guy. The guy was in the vehicle, sped off, called for help. One of our other cars spotted him going into a field. He ran about a block and a half on foot and then probably about a football field distance through the cornfield. Obviously, you don't know what you're dealing with. The guy ended up having a knife on him, which proves the benefit of sending the canine in. Canine smelled him out. They ordered him out many times. He wouldn't come out, wouldn't show his hands, so the dog secured him for the officer. So it went just very textbook. Very textbook. Held him for the guys. So all's good, all's good.
Good.
No police officers were hurt, and that's probably the best part. Yep.
He will be going to the county jail once he gets out of the hospital.
And no injuries to the canine?
Correct.
Good.
Everything was good.
Kiko was the name of the canine?
Nico. M-I-K-O.
Okay, once again, that wasn't on this activity report, but since it just happened, it'd be nice to hear it. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. We'll move to committee reports. Finance, Safety Services, Chairman Putoff.
Alderman Radke will handle the disbursements tonight.
Yes, Your Honor. So I have the disbursements for July 27, 2016. That total is $2,562,256.99. I move that this report be received, placed on file, and the bills paid in the usual manner.
Second, Your Honor.
We have a motion and a second to receive the disbursements for July 27, 2016. Receive the report, place on file, and pay the bills in the usual manner. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote. Clerk call roll. Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Payton.
Aye.
Motion approved.
Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion to approve a 90-day trial with Concur for accounts payable workflow.
Have a motion and a second to approve 90-day trial with Concur for accounts payable workflow. Is there any discussion? A roll call vote, clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf. Lukosius. Radke. Mueller. Payton. Just of note, there will be no finances expended on this particular motion.
If the trial goes as planned, then in January or in December, we'll make the decision on whether to extend it and begin January of 17 with the paid portion of it.
Okay.
A couple other footnotes to the finance report is the city remains on budget. Bills are paid, sales tax is up year-to-date about 4%. The gaming tax is up about 23%. So the city stays on track and enough to pay the infrastructure benefits and also place dollars into the reserve fund. So that's positive news.
Okay, thank you. Public Services, Chairman Waldorf.
Yes, sir. This time I'd like to make a motion to approve construction engineering service agreement with Chamlin and Associates contingent upon developer approval, please.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second to approve construction engineering service with Chamlin Associates contingent upon developer approval. Is there any discussion?
Your Honor, this is the engineering agreement for the North Plank Road project, and it does need to, after our motion, it does need to be agreed upon by Illinois Rail and Northern White Sands. But at this time, we're going to go ahead and make that motion, again, contingent upon the developer approval.
Okay, we'll have roll call. Call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius. Radke. Mueller. Payton.
Motion approved.
Next, Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion to award the Northwest Peru 2016 Road Improvement Project to the lowest responsible bidder, Deconstruction, in the, well, I'm not sure about the amount.
$2,512,085.49.
That's correct.
Thank you. And that is also contingent upon IDOT and developer approval.
And I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to award the Northwest Peru 2016 Road Improvement Project to the lowest responsible bidder of Deconstruction. Is there any discussion?
I think the key point is what Alderman Radke had mentioned before, is that both the engineering service and also the construction is paid for by the developer. So that's important for the residents of Peru to note that.
Okay, if there's no further discussion, we'll have a roll call. Roll call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius. Radke. Mueller. Payton.
Motion approved.
Lastly, Your Honor, I'll make a motion to purchase road salt for 2016-2017 winter season from the lowest bidder, River Docks Incorporated, at $65 per ton with no minimum quantity needed.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to purchase our road salt for 16-17 winter season. Is there any discussion?
Chief King, you want to give us a little bit on that?
Yeah, basically, last year, we used a total of 2,033.73 tons of salt. We had to fill the barn up. Obviously, we didn't use as much salt last year, but because of the contract with Cargill, we had to buy 80% of it. So we did fill our barn up. So right now, we're currently going to start this season with 1,400 ton full. And so I talked with River Docks and tried to get out of having to have a minimum, because both the contracts came back with wanting to be a minimum, and then I talked with them. They said, no, you don't have to have any minimum. So I think this year will be, unless, you know, we get pounded with snow, I think we're going to be quite a bit less than what we spent in the past. If we use the entire 2,500 tons, we're looking at about $162,500. And that's at 65 per ton this year, where last year was 88 1/4 a ton, so it's down quite a bit.
Yeah, good savings. Thank you.
Any further discussion? We'll have a roll call. We'll call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke. Mueller. Payton.
Motion approved. Anything further, Public Services?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Report City Attorney ordinances, resolutions? Yes, Your Honor, the first ordinance amends, section 114-364 of the, Code of Ordinances dealing with the economic development, electrical rate, and this caps the maximum rate under that, under the, energy plus demand charges for the electrical development rate at 10.5 cents, per kilowatt, increased by half a cent each year thereafter on the anniversary date. And this begins with service on and after August 1, 2016. It's presently capped at 10 cents. This raises it to 10.5 cents. Okay, we have a motion to approve the ordinance as written and read.
So moved, Your Honor.
Second, Your Honor.
A motion to approve the ordinance as written and read. Is discussion? We'll have roll call. Roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Payton.
Aye.
Motion approved. Next, you have a resolution providing for the submission of an advisory public question. And this proposes to be on the ballot as an advisory question for the November 8th, 2016 election. And that question will be as follows. Should the City Council of the City of Peru continue to pursue the issue of dissolving Peru Township?
Your Honor, I would make a motion that we approve the resolution as written and read.
I'll second that, Your Honor.
We have a motion, a second, to approve the resolution as written and read. Is there any discussion?
Yes, Your Honor, I just want to say that I will be voting aye for the advisory question to be placed on the ballot. Based on what the citizens are recommending and what their votes are, I just want to, as we proceed through this, be assured that we are doing this for the right reasons.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
For the right reasons.
The only reason for tax savings for the residents of Peru.
Correct.
A couple showed up. Normally, well, there's a few of you that are here that usually aren't at the meetings, and normally when we ask for public comment at the beginning, it's on agenda items. I didn't know, did anybody want to make a comment about this advisory question that we're referring to? We talked about it for, 15, 20 minutes in the committee of a whole, but if not, we'll go ahead and move on. Okay, so we have a motion and a second. If there's no further discussion, have a roll call vote, call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Payton.
Aye.
Motion approved. Next, we have a stop sign ordinance providing for stop signs at 15th Street, both eastbound and westbound traffic at its intersection with Prospect Street, and on Prospect Street, southbound and northbound traffic at its intersection with 15th Street. We have a motion to approve the ordinance as written and read.
So moved, Your Honor.
We have a motion and a second to approve the ordinance as written and read. Any discussion?
What this is, Your Honor, is Becky and I received an email from some concerned neighbors in that neighborhood, so I asked Chief to do a study on it, and he come up with a recommendation for the stop signs. That's what this is all about.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. If there's no further discussion, we'll have a roll call vote. Call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius. Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Payton.
Aye.
Motion approved. Next adds a new section to the Code of Ordinances of the City of Peru entitled Water and Sewer Bill Adjustments. And the City Council has petitioned from time to time for a water sewer bill adjustment due to a leak in a customer system. It is advisable to have a clear and consistent policy to address such customer requests, and the City Council finds it's in the best interest of the city to have a written policy by adding that new section 114-73. Person can take advantage of that only once every 2-year
period. And, if it's determined that a customer did not knowingly take and receive the increased amount of water, an adjustment may be made. If an adjustment is made, the customer's outstanding service charge, subject to the adjustment, shall be reduced to an amount equal to that customer's average service charge, plus one-half the difference between said average service charge and the outstanding service charge. However, in no event shall the adjusted service charge exceed a service charge determined by a water consumption equal to 3 times the said customer's average consumption. And then if it's also determined that water did not enter the city's wastewater system, that additional sewer charge in excess of the average usage would also be removed. And as I understand, that's consistent with City of Ottawa?
That's correct.
Okay, we have a motion to approve this ordinance as written and read.
So moved, Your Honor.
Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Doug, can you clarify the portion about you said something about 3 times the average rate of water use? Can you clarify what the?
Well, I just took what was given to me by the city clerk, so
I mean, that language caps the total amount of relief that can be given, so it wouldn't become an unlimited scenario.
Then I'm saying I missed that in the discussion, so can you repeat?
I'd have to quantify it with an example, I suppose.
Say it's $100, your average charge, your reduction can't be more than $300.
That's correct.
Thank you.
And the committee's had quite a bit of discussion about this, and this is their recommendation.
Indeed, and we've had quite a few requests for sewer and water relief, so, pardon me. We thought it best to have a solid policy in place so that there was no gray area, and I believe we all agreed on that, and it was our recommendation, so.
Any further discussion? Roll call, call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Payton.
Aye.
Motion approved.
Next, you have an ordinance accepting the deed from Peru Elementary School District for the Washington school property. As you know, there was an intergovernmental agreement between the school district and the city concerning that property, and under that agreement, the school district had to raise Washington School and then fill it. All that's been done according to plans and specifications, initially approved by our city engineer, and then subsequently determined that everything was complied with. So we have the property. We'll send that deed on for recordation tomorrow, but I think they cut the grass the last time this week.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the ordinance as written and read.
So moved, Your Honor.
Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion and a second to approve the ordinance as written and read. Is there any discussion?
Well, I think it's an awful nice piece of property that is now the city's, and it couldn't have come at a better time with the donation from the Happ family and the impending work starting on the splash pad.
Anyone else? Call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Payton.
Aye.
Anything further from the corporate council?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, any unfinished business? Anybody have any unfinished business? Any new business?
Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to make a motion to authorize the Board of Fire and Police Commissioners to fill a vacancy in the police department. Chief, you want to elaborate on this?
The motion is a request for the board to proceed with the conditional offer of employment to the next candidate on their eligibility list. Unfortunately, the position is because of the disability of Sergeant Jason Brokaw. He appeared or made a formal application to the City Approved Police Pension Board this past Friday. And it's anticipated that he's not going to recover, and they granted him his disability. So It's the request to move forward with hiring a new patrol officer.
Any further discussion? Okay, call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari. Aye. Waldorf. Aye. Prokosius. Radke.
Aye.
Mueller. Peyton.
Motion approved, I will say with regret, with what's happened with our officer.
Rather be replacing somebody who retired.
Correct, no doubt about it. Thank you.
Okay, any further new business? Petitions, communications?
The first is a communication from Tina Hahn requesting permission to hold a wedding at Baker Lake on August 9th in the East Shelter. And she has confirmed that that shelter is available through the police department.
Have a motion to receive the communication, place on file, and grant permission. It sounds like it's already been checked that it's an open date.
And she also notes no decorations or alcohol.
I'll make a motion, well, I'm gonna have it.
Good luck.
That's right. And I'll second that with our best wishes.
Who was the second? Alderman Mueller?
Yeah.
We have a motion, a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carried.
This is back on the agenda from last regular meeting, communication from the Humanity Preservation Foundation requesting permission to hold the loyalty run. So some of the questions answered were whether or not they have a charity status, and they are a 501c3 charity. One of the other questions asked was Starved Rock Runners affiliated with the event, and it doesn't appear that Starved Rock Runners Club is affiliated with the event. And as it regards to their charity efforts, it's my understanding that once they're granted permission, that they start seeking local charities to partner and benefit from the event.
It was discussed at the committee level. They want to take up the whole park?
That was a different one. That was a little different one. That was the one where they talked about the whole park. That was for the bicycle or the special needs trikes. They were asking for the entire park for this 6-hour marathon.
Okay.
8 to 11 a.m. awareness hours.
Do we know that the park is available at that, for that time frame on that day?
Yes.
I will make a motion, that we, allow them to do that.
Do we have a second?
Sure, second.
Okay, we have a motion, a second to receive the communication, place on file, and grant permission. Is there any discussion? All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay. Any other petitions, communications?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, public comment. Do we have any public comment? No public comment? The closed session was, we're fine? Okay, motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Have a motion and a second, all in favor? All opposed? Meeting adjourned.